such and such and whatever happens. Let's say Love and Hip Hop pick it up. You all get back together. How does that?
Remy Ma, Claressa Shields, 50 Cent, and Papoose dispute has blown up on social media and devolved into a complete nightmare. It all began when Remy Ma and her husband Papoose were seen having dinner at Brooklyn Chop House. Remy paid for a group of 10 men, but by the following morning, things had already started to go south. Her phone was exploding with shocking news that someone had allegedly planted a recording device in her car, on which Remy's voice could be heard in a conversation with someone else, but the other person's voice was captured on the recording. As the drama developed, it became evident that Remy and Papa's marriage wasn't as ideal as people had assumed. The secret recording had people talking, but things really got crazy when boxing champion Claressa Shields entered the fray and made it even worse. The voice was largely unclear. That small amount of mystery was all it took for people to begin speculating. The internet went crazy, and fans were immediately split when Claressa Shields challenged Remy Ma to a boxing match. However, just when things couldn't get any more dramatic, 50 Cent stepped in to add even more drama. As someone who had mentored Remy 50 was quick to warn Claressa that she might be making a big mistake. 50 people were aware of Remy's past and knew she wasn't the kind to overlook things, particularly when it came to people asking her name. The incident demonstrated that Remy wasn't someone you wanted to push too far, but Claressa didn't care. She doubled down and announced that the fight was scheduled for February 2nd. The internet exploded once more, with some people claiming it was all for attention and others convinced that this was personal. For Claressa, it was unquestionably personal, as she claimed the entire beef began when Remy leaked private information in an attempt to destroy her career. Claressa went further and said she would fight Remy for $1. This wasn't about money or a competition for her. It was about making a point. Remy Ma wasn't about to keep quiet, so she clapped back with a bombshell of her own, accusing rapper P of secretly being in a relationship while still married to her. According to Remy, he had been with someone else for years, even though they were still technically together. The drama escalated from there, and as expected, 50 Cent entered the fray once more, warning Claressa Shields won. He reminded everyone that Remy had a history of handling issues in ways that weren't exactly peaceful, and he even went so far as to say that she would have no trouble winning a fight, citing her previous violent outbursts as evidence. However, rather than backing off, Claressa became even more enraged and made it clear that no matter what anyone said, she was going through with the fight. Some fans loved her confidence. Some thought she was over her head, but in any case, the internet was tuned in, and this was more than just a verbal sparring match. The stage was set for a brawl in which the males had their own dispute and everyone was talking nonstop. 50 Cent's and Papoose's bad blood had been simmering for years. It began in 2018 when 50 made a remark about Remy's weight loss that offended Papo. This led to a string of public insults, and just when people thought it was over, 50 Cent escalated the drama by posting a picture of Papoose with a dubious caption. From then on, things only got worse as the two began exchanging insults and attempting to control the narrative on social media. Neither of them wanted to back down, and the feud continued. Becoming more unsightly when people asked him about the situation, Fat Joe, who had been a big part of Remy Ma's life for years, tried to keep out of it and said he didn't know all the details. He had dinner with Remy the night before she went viral on Instagram, but even he seemed caught off guard by how quickly things happened. Papoose then jumped in to clear up a rumor that some fans believed he had been at Brooklyn Chop House with Remy and Fat Joe, but he quickly shut that down. Although he frequently visited Brooklyn Chop House, he wasn't there that night, and he wanted to make sure people knew the truth. No matter how messed up things got, Remy wasn't holding back. She was willing to tell everything, even if it meant revealing the truth about the man she had once supported. Remy claimed that the true issue was Papa's covert gambling addiction, which had been ruining their marriage for years, and that he had been using their relationship to get what he wanted. In addition to calling Papa out, Ma was exposing his shortcomings for everyone to see. However, In a startling turn of events, Papoose supposedly acknowledged that he had been aware of Remy's affair the entire time. That bombshell just made matters worse, causing fans to wonder if formerly enjoyed widespread public backing was now for years. People were under fire and unsure of which side to support. Remy and Papoose had been viewed as the epitome of loyalty. He had supported her during her incarceration, publicly commended her at every opportunity, and remained by her side no matter what. However, now that everything was being questioned, it was unclear whether Papoose was aware of the affair, why he had stayed, or whether he had been hiding his own secrets. There were a lot of hypotheses, arguments, and divergent views on the internet. Some people believe Papo knew all along but kept quiet to protect their reputation. Others felt deceived, believing the pair had given the public a fake fairy story, while Claressa Shields was ignoring. A two-time Olympic gold medalist and an undefeated boxing champion, Claressa was not one to back down from a challenge. She had built her career on being fearless both inside and outside the ring, and she saw Remy as someone who talked a big game. Despite the chaos, she remained focused on her challenge, making it clear that she wanted to fight Remy regardless of what was going on in her personal life at this point. The more people tried to warn her about Remy's past, the more determined she became for Claressa. This fight was personal, not about money or fame. Remy, on the other hand, wasn't one to let a challenge go unanswered. She had built her reputation on being tough both in the industry and in the streets. Despite lacking professional boxing experience, she wasn't afraid to throw hands when necessary. Fans argued whether Claressa's skill would dominate, or if Remy's raw aggression would make it a real fight. As the drama reached new heights, it became clear that this situation wasn't going to go away anytime soon in any case. The world was watching, and this drama was far from over as it reached new levels, making it clear that this situation wasn't going to go away anytime soon. Regardless of how it played out, there were going to be long-lasting consequences for everyone involved. One thing was certain, regardless of whether it was in a fight or in real life, Remy wasn't someone to mess with. She had a reputation for standing her ground, and both women refused to back down. The real question was whether this was just talk or if a real fight was about to break out. The men involved in the situation weren't keeping quiet either. Papoose, who was still dealing with the fallout from his failing marriage, had to face public scrutiny about his role in everything. Was he truly blindsided by Remy's affair, or had he turned a blind eye all along? Some felt sorry for him, while others saw him as complicit in the entire mess. Some believed that her skills and discipline would dominate others, while others backed Remy, who proved her street experience and toughness would carry her through social media. He obviously didn't think Remy could defeat a skilled fighter like Claressa. Despite the looming possibility of a fight, it was clear that this was more than just a physical showdown. It was about reputation, pride, and proving who was the real alpha for Remy. It was a test of whether she could support her tough persona against a trained opponent. Claims surfaced that both camps were getting ready for an actual fight, with promoters eager to capitalize on the hype. Claressa remained laser-focused, brushing off all distractions while playing it cool, neither confirming nor denying if she would actually step into the ring. Competent for Claressa, as the days went by, the expectation only increased. Would these two finally resolve their issues in the ring, or would the tension explode in another way? Whatever occurred next, one thing was for sure: this narrative was far from ended. It was an opportunity to silence anyone who questioned her superiority in and out of the sport.